Got to start sometime. It's 5:04. We'll go ahead and get started. I know there's another meeting scheduled for 6 o'clock. So we'll try to get through this agenda in time for them, not to hold them up. It's the January 19th Human Resources and Insurance Committee meeting. Jody, if you would please call the roll.
Mayor Ed Mitchell.
Here.
Commissioner Mike Lewis.
Here.
Commissioner Stinnett.
Here.
Commissioner Kaler.
Here.
Commissioner Caskey.
And I'd say in Commissioner Caskey's absence, he called earlier and has a scheduling conflict and was not going to be able to make it.
Okay. Commissioner Carver.
Here.
David Merle.
Here.
Phyllis Crisp. Here. Bill Dunlap. Sheriff Brown.
At 7. We have a quorum. Thank you. Mike, if you would please run the emergency announcement.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you've reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
Item C, is there any public input on items on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on. You all should have the August 18th and August 27th meeting minutes in your packet. I would accept a motion to approve either or both of those minutes at this time.
Moving forward both August 18th, August 27th.
Commissioner Keller. Ms. Crisp, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Oh, Commissioner Stinnett.
Chairman, I make a motion that we remove G from the agenda for tonight.
Okay. Motion and a second to remove item G. Without objection, we will do that. Seeing none, that item G is removed. Monthly revenues and expenditures. Jenny? Oh, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your packet, you will have our monthly revenue and expenditures report. And just to briefly go over this again, because I know it has been a little bit since we were last able to meet. The first page of this report shows the breakdown of our membership. So for the month of December, we ended December with 1,887 employees and 3,993 total members. So that includes all of the dependents for the employees. And then it breaks it down by coverage types. We had 954 employee only, 219 employee plus spouse, 206 employee plus child, and then 508 family, which is pretty, we were pretty on par for what we had been in previous months. And then with revenue and expenditures, when looking at the report, your top section of numbers are the revenue, the bottom half are expenditures. And for the month of December, we had $1,526,511.06 in revenue, and our expenditures were $1,886,502.41. So we were quite a bit in the hole there on that. over $300,000 worth. Keep in mind, our premium increases took effect in January. So on January 1, the premium rate changed, with what we had, this committee had voted on and moved forward and commission approved last year. We will have some run-out fees from the previous provider that we will have to pay. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recognize our broker Cole to just explain to the committee what those run-out fees are, if that's okay.
Mr. Harris?
So everybody can understand what that's going to look like. And then Cole can let us know when we should be able to see the full impact of those rate changes as well.
Yeah. Thank you. So with the runout, when we discussed this during one of the HR committee meetings, so the way that the runout works again is claims that are incurred like in the month of December, for instance, they're not immediately paid in December. So the expenditures won't hit you usually for anywhere up to 60 days, sometimes up to 90 days, just depending on when the provider files the claim. So whenever the provider files the claim, the insurance company has 60 days to actually process the claim from there. So it's likely that you're going to still be paying claims all the way into March for what date of service would have been for 2015. So it's something to keep in mind as we go through these revenue and expenditure reports, that we're really not going to start seeing a huge we're not going to start seeing a noticeable shift. You will see a noticeable shift in the revenue part, but on the claims piece of it, we're going to expect more of that shift in the March to April range, not immediately in January, because Allegiance really isn't processing that many claims on the medical side in January. They're already doing the pharmacy, so that will be real time, but the medical piece would not be, so expect that. Now with runout, that means Humana is still processing those claims. So part of the expenditures that you have in the latter part of last year is going to be for Humana to administer those runout claims. Now, a lot of that is also offset because Cigna and Allegiance provided basically an incentive or an easement for transitioning from one carrier to the next, because there always are those administrative expenses. So they essentially give you a billing credit or administrative credit to help cover some of those costs for that. But that's why you're going to see some of the administrative costs go up, because Humana charges a lump sum admin fee to administer all of that run out, and that's going to be included in there. So,
Cole, if you would talk a little bit about, and I know I think we've had this discussion before, but back in the month of June or July, I guess it's July, and this is kind of a reoccurring issue for us, that premium amounts, revenues drop substantially between June and August, and they seem to do that every year, but I don't know that we've ever gotten a really good explanation as to why that is. Okay, Jenny?
Yes, that's because of the school system employees that take a break, or, and David might be able to explain it a little better, but it has to do with like interim teachers who maybe had insurance for one school year, but at the end of the school year, they, are terminated or their coverage stops. So we're not receiving a premium from them from the months of June and July. And then when they are rehired in the months of August, when school starts back and their insurance kicks back in, we get a premium back from them. So there's a time period when they don't have coverage. David, I don't know if that sums it up right or not, but okay.
And then any new hires, we need to have a way.
Correct.
Okay, so that's $400,000. Is it that? Is there that many?
There's, how many employees would you say that would impact, David? Yeah. We can get that data and have it.
Yeah, it would just be good information to have, because the premiums drop almost 25%. I guess a little more than 25%.
Well, and
Close to 40%.
Probably too would, and Jody, would it, the cafeteria employee? No?
Well, no,
But we would see their revenue.
they changed it this year.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, so we just make sure we have that information. I'd like to see those numbers just to make sure that there's not some anomaly. It's happening every year about that time, that it's caused by something other than that. Any other questions for Cole? Cole, thank you. Okay, we'll move on. 2016 open enrollment update. Jenny?
Yeah, just some preliminary information for you. We will have some more information at the next month's meeting as we are getting all of the data compiled. But we held an open enrollment the last week of October and the first 2 weeks in November. It was our first enrollment through Courthouse. We did have enrollers on site to assist us with the process. They were, we had, I believe, 14 to 15 enrollers that went to all of our locations. So they were here at the courthouse. They were at all of the schools. They were also at the operations center. They went to the justice center. So they went to every location that we had and were able to assist all of our employees. With it being our first in Courthouse, we did have a few hiccups, but nothing that we weren't able to correct and to fix, either right there on the spot or, with Jody and myself as administrators within, a few business days, we were able to take care of those situations. So preliminary update for you. Cole's working on putting together some of our numbers, so just so we know, you can see who enrolled in what and, numbers as far as how many people are in each plan, those types of things. So we'll work on having all of that together for our February meeting. But that's just some preliminary information for you for now.
Jenny, does Courthouse or us either one provide any kind of feedback from employees as to how that process went?
Yeah, we received several. I received several emails. I think David got some from the school employees as well, as far as how that whole process went. So we definitely, it was a learning process for us, and Jody and I definitely have made a list of some things we are going to do better next year. We got a lot of feedback from employees. Overall, the feedback seemed to be good. A lot of the issues were just were logging in. Somebody forgot their Courthouse username and password. So that really was the majority of the issues, was just having to look up what somebody's username was so they could reset their password. So that was probably, I would say, the number one issue we had. And I think David would agree from the feedback from the school system, was just forgotten passwords. Okay. So any other issue, was something that Jody and I were able to work with the insurance companies and with Cole to correct. So I think we're in a good spot now. Moving forward, I think we're doing pretty good.
Good. Okay.
I think.
Thank you. Item G has been pulled. Next item is any public input on items not on the agenda. Seeing none, without objection, we will adjourn. Thank you all.